today's objective is to multiply a mixed number by a whole number by rewriting the mixed number into an improper fraction. Okay, so first let's review how to make a mixed number into an improper fraction. So if you were given the number 3 and 2/3, right? I am going to focus just on the 3 here. So the 3 would look like this in thirds, right? There would be 3 area models that would have all thirds, which means there would be 9 of them. Another way to think of how to change 3 into thirds is if I added 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 3/3, right? The same thing that we're seeing here in this picture, which would give us 9/3, right? And then another way to also think of it is just the same as 3 times 3/3, right? There's 3 wholes here, and which would also give us 9/3. So the first thing is making this whole number into an improper fraction. So now that the 3 is 9/3, now I just need to add up the 2/3 that was with that mixed number. So if I wanted to change 3 and 2/3 into an improper fraction, I would do 3 times 3/3, which we just saw would give us 9/3. And then I would add whatever this other fraction is. And the reason we did 3/3 is because we want to make our lives easier, right, with just having the same denominator. So then now I do 9/3 plus 2/3 equals 11/3. So today right now we're going to practice how to change these into improper fractions because we're going to need to do that in order to multiply a mixed number times a whole number. Next up, we have 2 and 3/4. So I need to change this into an improper fraction. So I would do 2 times 4/4, right? Because the denominator is 4. 2 times 4/4 would give me 8/4. Now I have 8/4 plus whatever is left over. 8/4 plus 3/4, 11/4. All right, let's practice one more before we actually start multiplying. Now, 4 and 3/5 into an improper fraction. So here, you would multiply 4 times 5/5, and you would get 20/5. We add this little extra bit here, then we would get 23/5. So that was just a little review on how to make a mixed number into an improper fraction, because now let's look at problem number 1. So problem number 1 is 2 and 1/4 times 3, right? And we can't just do the 3 times the 2. We need to be able to multiply this whole number together. And the way we can do that is by changing 2 and 1/4 into an improper fraction. So we're going to do the same steps we did with the last mixed numbers. So we would do 2 times 4/4, which would give us 8/4. Then we would add this 1/4 here, and then we would get 9/4. So now that I have 2 and 1/4 as an improper fraction, now I can multiply times 3. And so here you can see 9/4 times 3 equals, so we're only multiplying the numerators here, right? 9 times 3, and then 4 times this invisible 1 that's here would give us 27/4. And so the tricky thing is that there's also going to be another step with these problems, because if our answers end up as an improper fraction, now we have to change it back into a mixed number. And so the way that we do that is, remember, a fraction is just like a division problem. So 27/4 would be the same as 27 divided by 4. So if we focus here on this long division part, right, I know that 4 goes into 27 6 times, so that becomes my whole number. And then I look to see how much is left over. There's 3 left over, and that's going to be out of the denominator that we have. So there's multiple steps, but this is the same steps that we'll do each time. All right, problem 2. 3 times 4 and 2/3. So here we, again, have to make this mixed number into an improper fraction. So first step, I'm going to do 4 times whatever this denominator is. So 4 times 3/3, which gives me 12/3, plus the 2/3 equals 14/3. So now I have my improper fraction. Now I can multiply. And now here we have 14/3 times 3 equals 14 times 3 over 3, which would give us 42/3, right? But again, this is an improper fraction, so now we need to change it back into a mixed number. So 42 over 3, the same as 42 divided by 3. When you divide 42 divided by 3, you're going to get 14. You'll notice there's no remainder, so this one is just 14. All right, last problem for today's lesson. This is problem 3, 2 and 2/5 times 4. So we need to make 2 and 2/5 into an improper fraction. I'm going to multiply 2 times 5/5 to see how many fifths this would be, which would give me 10/5. 10/5 plus 2/5 would give us 12/5. We have an improper fraction, so now we need to multiply. So now I have 12/5. 12/5 times 4 would give me 48/5. Again, we have improper fraction, need to change it into a mixed number. How many times can 5 fit into 48? 5 can fit into 48 9 times. And we would see we would have 3 left over, 3 remainder. So then our final answer would be 9 3/5. All right, and then now all that you have left is the exit ticket. So today's exit ticket is 3 times 2 and 1/5. Remember, you need to change this mixed number into an improper fraction first in order to multiply. And then if your answer ends up being an improper fraction, then you're going to need to switch it back into a mixed number.
Thanks for watching.